What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Corner Office, where Ruhan and I sit down with Philadelphia's leading entrepreneurs and executives.
Today is an extremely special episode. We're here at Saxbys headquarters. We're going to sit down with the CEO of Saxbys, the man himself, Nick Bear. Matt's going to have his first cup of coffee ever. What more do you need to know? Watch this episode.
Nick, thank you so much for coming on an episode of the Corner Office. Ruhan and I have been pumped up for this episode for a really long time now. Thank you for inviting us to your office space in downtown Philadelphia. This is awesome. Now, Nick, you're a big deal in the city of Philadelphia, especially within the business community. Everyone knows Nick Bear, and everybody in Philadelphia knows Saxbys Coffee. That's not why I've been most excited about today. I'm most excited about today because I have never had a cup of coffee, and that's about to change right now.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
You guys at home might find it impossible to believe that a guy as hyper as Matt McNamara isn't functioning off some kind of stimulant. But it's true, and he's about to have his first cup of coffee ever right now. Nick, what kind of coffee are we drinking?
And you're going to drink a really, really good one, too.
Okay.
So I think most times you would think that if someone's going to have their first cup of coffee, you'd be giving them a drip coffee. But I thought that's the best way to be able to do it, despite the fact that it's December and it's about 20 degrees outside.
Yep.
I thought the best way to be able to get Matt into the coffee business is with our cold brew.
Okay.
So our cold brew is 3 different beans, South American, Central American, and African bean, all picked, like literally we go to the individual farms around the world, buy the coffee directly from the grower, pay above market for it. But my coffee team is so talented that they pick these beans, they cup them all individually, understand their taste preferences, and then sort of bring them together here in Point Breeze in Philadelphia, roast it, we cup it again, we find the right way to be able to blend it to be able to come out this way. So this coffee, it's roasted down, 3 different coffees come together, roasted down at Point Breeze. We then bring it into our cafes, it's ground a very particular way, and then we steep it in cold water, cold filtered water for 14 hours overnight.
Wow.
And so the drip that essentially comes out of that is what you guys are now going to
It takes a long time to make something this good, right?
Unbelievable how much time and effort goes into that. It's really, really amazing. So give it your first sip, Matt.
Guys, it's the best coffee I think I've ever had. Seriously.
You know what's interesting? So the taste, it'll probably take a couple more tastes for it, but like the taste that you'll sort of taste most predominantly, for me, the first taste that I get is sort of vanilla. Like you'll taste a little bit of vanilla, and then sort of the back end of the taste is a little bit of chocolate.
Okay.
So that's what we really wanted. We wanted it to be sort of vanilla chocolate forward. And one of the things I like a lot about cold brew, and particularly our cold brew, we steep it so long, is there's like no bitterness. It's very smooth. Oftentimes when you drink particularly hot coffee, there's a bitterness. And I think one of the reasons why we've seen young people really gravitate towards cold brew is when it's your first time drinking coffee and you drink something that's like really, really bitter, you're like, no
kind of turns you off.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not really looking for bitterness in my life, But like one of the reasons why we've seen young people really gravitate towards cold brew is that it's smooth, lack of bitterness, and the taste profile that you want. Again, that chocolate and vanilla starts to really come forward, And I think that's why we have seen, like, back in the day, we didn't have cold brew more than 4 years ago. We were hot coffee, 70% of sales hot coffee. And then over time, it's sort of done this, and now we sell almost 2-to-1 cold brews to hot coffee, even when it's 20 degrees outside. Yeah, really sort of crazy.
So what makes a good coffee?
There's a lot that goes into it. So when we bring people down to our roastery in Point Breeze, they're amazed to see like these huge bags, burlap bags from Ethiopia and from Costa Rica and from Guatemala. And then they see exactly how our roasting team, they have this crazy sophisticated, technologically advanced roasting equipment. And then they see how we blend it together and how it's ground. Like, this is so complicated. It's actually way more complicated than origin.
Okay.
When you go to Guatemala, I was in the last month I've been in Guatemala and Colombia.
You saw a video on LinkedIn with that.
When you go to these countries, it is unbelievable how many steps go into growing coffee. And you're doing it. Colombia is a country in the mountains. Like the Andes Mountains split essentially into 3, and the entire country sits up in the mountains. So these coffee fields are grown in the sides of mountains. So you have to know, you have to protect it from bugs, you have to protect it from weather and rain, and then you have to go and look at it and say, you know what, this cherry is ready. You pick the cherry, you bag the cherries, you have to go bring it out, and there's a process of milling where you have to like dry the cherry, dry the member, like there's so many steps that go into handling an agricultural product. It's as sensitive is anything. And then obviously the quality of it is really important, because we'll pay X dollars for one product and we'll pay significantly more for a different product. And that's happening within 200 miles of the equator, usually 2,000 meters or higher above sea level. So really tough conditions to be able to grow coffee. So there's so much that goes into it. But ultimately for us, we work backwards. There's a lot of coffee companies, not that we're right and they're wrong, but there's a lot of coffee companies that will work where you've got a head of coffee, and whatever he or she really likes, what they go travel the world and pick, and they make it. And they're like, hey, I'm Nick Bayer. If this is what I like, Matt, it's what you're gonna like. It's what you're gonna like too, Ruhan. Like, we work a little bit backwards. We work where we've got a really loyal consumer base. We call them sort of the young or young at heart. So we serve a lot of college campuses and a lot of urban environments. So we speak to our consumers a lot and sort of get their taste preferences, not just for coffee, but like, what are you enjoying out there right now? What beers are you drinking? What cocktails are you drinking? What food are you eating? And starting to understand the taste profiles. Now we sort of work backwards. And then our coffee team travels the world looking for coffees that cup and taste a particular way. And we sort of then blend it that way. So there's a lot that goes into it, but you have to sort of know what you're solving for. Absolutely. We know we serve a lot of young people. We know we serve a lot of people working in urban environments. So they like things that give them good energy. We're not going to give them heartburn. That mix very well. Like I told you guys before, we were talking here on air about our cold brew collections. We make these house-made flavoring ingredients. They're all natural, and then we sort of shake it with cold brew in a cocktail shaker.
Okay.
So we wanted a cold brew that would taste really good on its own, but also mix well with milk and honey. Mix really well with vanilla bean. And so it's a lot that goes into it. People way more talented at this than me who actually take care of making sure that coffee's really good.
Okay. Now, one great cup of coffee is not going to convert me into an avid coffee drinker. Why would someone like me who doesn't drink coffee stop in and hang out at Saxbys?
Yeah, I mean, look, our business is a complicated one. It seems great that it's like, oh, you just serve cups of coffee and you have to have some nice chairs. There's a lot that goes into it. I think that there's sort of the continuum of three things that are really important, and they're probably of equal importance. One of which is real estate. Where is your business? Where is it? If it's sort of deep tucked away on a hidden side street and no one knows where it is and no one walks by, they're not going to go. So that's going to really hinder your ability to be successful. So real estate is really important. And again, it's understanding who are you trying to serve. If you're trying to serve the 65 and up crowd, that's different real estate than if you're trying to serve the 18 to 35 crowd. So understand who you think that your brand and your product is going to attract. So real estate is one, product is two. Like, what are you serving? And so our menu today is drastically different than 10 years ago. We used to not serve food. Now about 30% of our revenue comes off of food. We used to not serve cold coffee. Now
it's more cold, right?
Now it's more cold than it is hot. Like it's amazing how much things have changed. Like matcha, we didn't have matcha a year ago. Matcha's almost 8% of our sales. It's a Japanese green tea. So it's like understanding who your consumer is and constantly trying to innovate and give them products that they want. And then the third, and I would argue oftentimes is the most important, is the people side.
Absolutely.
We're in the quintessential people business. So many things have gone the way of technology. You can outsource so many things to technology, but people are doubling down on their places like restaurants and coffee shops where you can go be around people. You're not going to go and get your news by necessarily sitting around a table with people, but if you want to get the energy from other human beings, which is what we're hardwired to get. We're hardwired to be around each other and talk and communicate. Coffee shops, particularly Saxbys, are built to be able to give great human experience.
Jolt of energy, though. I've heard you say that in other interviews. It's not like you're going to come to a Saxbys, put your head down and do quiet work, right? There's music playing.
My last meeting last night was with our head of design at Saxbys, and she's like really, really talented. She used to work at Soul Cycle and the Wing and some really cool places. And she's amazing, really cool. She does design really well. And the thing that we talk a lot about is people don't come into Saxbys to get sad or to sort of like wind down. They come in to get a jolt. They come in to get a vibe and an energy, and it comes with real estate. So when you walk in, is it bright? Is it vibrant? Is it clean? Is it a place that you want to hang out in? The second side is the people side. If our people are sort of sad and weepy, or the music is really sad and weepy, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. They're coming in there to get a jolt. And then make sure you give them a product that is like, man, I can't wait to have that again today, or I can't wait to have that tomorrow, I can't wait to bring my friends here as well. Like, it's those three things, which is simple, and it's that it's three things, but they're really hard to execute sort of together. But I think it's it's in equal parts each of those three things. But there's, I would say, probably nearly 50% of the site, like our sales, are non-caffeinated items. Whether it's sandwiches or whether it's smoothies, like there's a lot of things that we sell that are not caffeinated. But if people like to be in cool environments with people who are happy and excited about what they're doing, and excited about who they're around, that's who Saxbys is for.
Got it. Now, I know that you guys are heavily involved with universities
Yep.
in the greater Philadelphia area. I went to Penn State.
Yeah.
I went up for a football game back in the fall and saw that you guys opened a brand new Saxbys in the business building, which is awesome.
Yep.
Tell us about that program you have at the universities.
Yeah, so we debuted it 4 years ago here at Drexel.
Okay.
So back on 34th Street, so about 11 blocks from where we're standing right now. When I was coming out of school, we didn't teach entrepreneurship. And, as I started to build Saxby, schools started to, over the years, started to teach entrepreneurship. They were getting big grants and wanted to teach entrepreneurship. And I started to guest lecture in Drexel and Penn State and Penn and Cornell and all these great schools. And so I started to see, not only were we starting to teach entrepreneurship, but the pedagogy of higher ed, the term I kept hearing was experiential learning. So how do we take what they're learning in the classroom and give them the opportunity to learn it sort of in the real world? And by it,
cool.
I essentially mean business and leadership. It's not about it is not running a coffee shop. The beauty of the coffee shop is if you go to that Saxbys at Penn State, you go to the one at Drexel or Temple or any of these, you're talking about upwards of $1 million business units that are run by about 50 to 60 people. You have dozens of vendors, you have competition everywhere, you have accounting, you have HR, you have everything that goes into running any kind of business happens in a busy coffee shop. So I believe that it is the perfect vehicle to be able to teach business. And so we packaged that up, and I brought it to a really legendary, innovative leader here in Philadelphia named John Fry.
Okay.
So you said some complimentary things about me at the outset of this. He's the real deal.
Okay.
I'm a mentee of his, but
Okay.
he's the real deal.
Got it.
And so I was able to bring it to John and said, hey, John, I know you guys just built a school of entrepreneurship. You're trying to teach innovatively. You guys are talking about experiential learning. I believe that if we can partner together, allow students to design and then exclusively run their own on-campus Saxbys, this will be innovative and it will give those students an opportunity to be way better in life than I was.
And there's a student CEO that
Yep.
runs the Saxbys, correct?
Yeah,
That's pretty
exactly
cool.
right. So,
Yeah.
in the context of Penn State, so I mean, I give President Barron and his team a lot of credit. Like President Barron, I met on this, years ago.
Okay.
And it's very easy to say that sounds crazy. You want 70, 18 to 22-year-olds to run a business that's open 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like they're not going to show up. They're not going to do this and that. But the real innovative leaders out there know that if you give people something that they believe in, like a mission, core values, and you train them and you empower them, knowing that they're going to make mistakes, knowing that they're going to have successes, but you're going to empower them to get better every single day, like great things will happen. And so that location is a really busy location. So we do over $1 million in revenue. We employ about 75 students. So the student CEO, Corey, who's there right now, has 75 people that report to him. He comes into my conference room every single month and he presents his profit and loss statement to like my executive team and his peers. He's 21 years old.
He's a student at Penn State.
He's 21 years old.
That is awesome.
So like imagine when he chooses to start his own business or he chooses to go interview somewhere. Anyone who's managed a business before knows the hardest part of business is managing people. Managing, like if Matt shows up late, having to sit down and be like, hey Matt, we have to have a tough conversation about you showing up late. Or if Ruhan does this instead of doing this, having to have those
Happens a lot with Ruhan.
These are random examples, but we're able to give the next generation of leaders those real opportunities right now in a real business. And so I think that it's I think we're starting to show that business can be a vehicle for good. You can run a good business and make a difference in the world all at the same time. They don't have to be mutual exclusive.
And what I really like is you can't teach someone that in the classroom. You can't sit there with a pen and paper.
No.
You only get that experience by being in the field every single day and managing people. So I think it's a great idea.
I mean, you can sit in a classroom about leadership development.
Sure.
And say, okay, here's what the textbook tells you. If someone shows up late or shows up hungover, shows up whatever, here's what you do. Like we call it coaching and counseling. It's another thing to just role play it. It's another thing to do when you have to sit down with a real person right in front of you, look them in the eyes, and they're going to be angry or they're going to be sad and have to do that.
Yep.
And the reality is like we mess those things up all the time. But mistakes are oftentimes your greatest opportunity to learn. And so we give them the understanding to be like, we're going to make you do it. But we also know that you're not going to always get it right. And we're here to be able to coach you and be like, hey, you nailed that when you did it perfectly. On this one, you know what? Next time we would encourage you to say this or say that, and they get better each time. So by the time I interview them sitting at that table, I've interviewed every single student CEO who's ever come here. They're all been great. Some have been the captain of the lifeguard team or the captain of the cheerleading team, and it's a nice leadership position. It's not this.
Yeah.
And then when I watch them come out on the other end 6 months later, they're different people. Like they are full-on adults ready to be leaders in this world. And as an entrepreneur, that makes me feel really good. That's what we're trying to accomplish.
Awesome. Now, Nick, a lot of people in Philadelphia, especially aspiring entrepreneurs like myself or Matt, we look up to you because you're a role model to us. Because back when you started this business at only 25 years old, pretty young, 15 years ago. You had one location. Fast forward to 2019, you have 25 locations. You guys are doing exceptionally. What is some advice that you've heard that has enabled you to grow and run this business so successfully?
So I think the thing that I talk about, and I think that this is for both entrepreneurs as well as people that are not entrepreneurs. I think that we spend more time working than anything else.
Yeah.
And I watch it with my parents. My parents were teenagers when they had me. They didn't get a chance to get an education. They took whatever job they could get. Right. Versus choosing to go do what it was that they love to do. My dad wishes he could have been a coach and a teacher. That's what he wanted to do, but you can't do that without a degree.
Got it.
My little brother is a coach and a teacher, so it makes my dad really, really happy. My mom wanted to be an entrepreneur. She wanted to be a business leader, but those doors were never open to her without having a degree. And so when you have the opportunity to go get an education and make the decision to do whatever it is you want to do professionally, you have to connect your mind and your heart. Like, what are the two things where I like to say, like, your mind says, that's a cool industry, that could be a cool job, that could be a cool business for me to build, but does it make your heart race? Yeah. Like, when I was coming out of school, there were 10 times more investment banking Wall Street jobs than there are today. So, like, if people didn't want to be lawyers or doctors, that's what they want. It's like, well, that's just where you go. Yeah. Like, you're going to get this salary and you get to live in New York City. Yeah. My mind was like, that sounds pretty cool, but my heart was like dead. My heart was like, it's not like, it doesn't do anything for me. Right. So, like, I like to say, like, what makes your heart race? Like, the idea of doing that, does it make your heart race? Does your heart start to speed up? You get really excited about being able to do it. Then you know you're on the right path. Because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, there is nothing harder to do professionally than being an entrepreneur. When you take that leap and you start your own business, that safety net is gone.
You're the last line of defense.
You're the last line of defense. If you don't have a great day every day, you literally don't keep the lights on. Right. God forbid you start hiring people, you don't make payroll. Like, all of those things stop happening once you become an entrepreneur. And if your heart and mind are not completely aligned, if your heart's not racing about what you're going to do, entrepreneurship is really hard for you. It's going to be really hard for you. On the flip side, I've had to deal with so many of which are self-inflicted wounds, bad decisions that I made. I'm like, oh my God, look at this situation we're in. But I thought about, like, what we were trying to accomplish in the company. Now we have 900 people in Saxbys. My heart races, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go make this happen. I'm ready to go. You're passionate. It's just different than if it's something where your mind thinks it's good, and your heart thinks it's good, then you've got something there.
Awesome. Now, here on the corner office, we love to put our CEOs to the test with hypothetical scenarios. All right. This scenario is pretty good for Matt and I. So in this scenario, Matt and I are two of the wealthiest bankers in Europe. And we're in Philadelphia.
I thought you guys were. I thought that's what you told me.
Well, Matt's dressed like a very wealthy banker.
You got the tie on, so you're more dressed like it. Yeah.
So in this scenario, Nick, we're here visiting from the Netherlands.
Yep.
And we're speaking to you because we want you to come to the Netherlands and open up the first international franchise of Saxbys Coffee.
Yep.
Talk to us a little bit about your mindset going into international expansion and how you would handle that challenge.
Yeah, so I think that it's great to be in the presence of two wealthy European bankers, first and foremost. But I think for us, like, you guys had mentioned me before, like, why would you come to a Saxbys if it's not just about product? And so I think the same thing plays whether you're in Philadelphia or whether you're in Amsterdam or any city around the world. So I think we are definitely interested in being able to grow Saxbys one day. We think that what we stand for, what we believe in, travels well. As I like to say, taste of product is a very subjective thing. Like, we think we have the best coffee in the market, but some people are going to prefer a different brand because the taste of product, whether it's scotch or beer or coffee, is going to be subjective. What's not subjective, what we hang our hat on, is what we call hospitality. Everyone everywhere likes to be looked at in the eyes, likes to be treated nicely, likes to be taken care of. Like, I don't care whether you're in Amsterdam or here in Singapore, like, everyone likes to be hospitable, and so that is our calling card. We hire people based on these core values, and we encourage them, like, you might screw up a coffee, but we never screw up the human experience.
It reminds me of Chick-fil-A kind of.
Chick-fil-A does a lot of the same things. I think Danny Meyer, what he's created, like with Shake Shack and some of his restaurant groups, very, very similar things. And so that human-to-human connection is the most important thing. So I think if we're going to go international, we have to know that, like, our calling card is going to be that we're going to hire awesome people who just love taking care of each other and the consumers that come into our business. But again, you have to have that continuum of real estate, product, and sort of the people side of the business. But I think that for us, like, where we stand now today, our experiential learning program is both tremendously differentiating, but it gives us an absolutely sort of great foray into markets, because just like in the US, the Netherlands has a lot of great colleges and universities.
Yeah, definitely.
And our core consumer, who we really resonate both from an employment perspective and from a consumption perspective, are those kids that are in college.
Right.
So most likely, if we got a call from the Netherlands, like, hey, what's the right way for you guys to enter? That's the right way for us to enter. You know, you go to, and I apologize to you bankers that I'm ignorant on the college system in the Netherlands right now, but like, let's go to the Drexel or the Temple or the Penn State of the Netherlands, because the benefit that you get is, you know, we serve thousands, like I use the Temple example, we serve almost 2,000 Temple students every single day. 2 cafes on campus, every day for 4 years. So when they graduate, most Temple students then stay in the city of Philadelphia.
Right.
To imagine the brand loyalty, the brand equity that we have with people that have been drinking and hanging out in our cafes with our people for thousands of times over the course of 4 years. So when they move into Rittenhouse or Washington Square West or travel to 30th Street Station, they have an affinity for Saxbys, so you could build your brand there. So we would enter the Netherlands through college and then start to build out in other cool areas where you can start to build up a brand equity.
That's a genius way, and I think what I really like about Saxbys, and Matt and I have actually met Howard Stokel from Wawa.
Yeah.
He's
And
awesome.
one thing I see that's very similar between you two is you have a key set of core values. So no matter where you go from there, as long as you're adhering to that amazing customer experience, it's all going to work out fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, business is about people. You know, you can't win without talent. And talent today, young talent, does not want to go to places where they don't believe in the mission.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you don't have a defined mission, if you don't have core values, but more importantly, you don't walk the walk every single day, you're going to wonder why you're not getting the best talent. And you're going to wonder why your business can't grow. Businesses grow because they have talent, and I think we've got great talent because we walk the walk with our mission, core values every single day.
Now, Nick, our favorite part of the show, our guest provides a question of the day, and our audience will answer the question in the comments below. So what's your question of the day?
Oh, man. A lot of different ways I could go with this, but I would say, you know, it's the holiday season right now. So outside of giving a gift, what are you going to do to put a smile on your face between now and next year?
Great question.
Great question. Nick, thank you so much for
My
coming
pleasure,
on the
man.
episode of Corner Office.
Thanks for having me.
You didn't disappoint. The coffee certainly
Thanks,
didn't
man. Appreciate
disappoint. Guys, if there's a CEO, entrepreneur, executive, startup founder that you want to get on the Corner Office, let Ruhan and I know in the comment section below. We'll make it happen. Look out for videos every Wednesday. Like and subscribe. And go Birds.